Hey guys, today's I'm going to a closing, a real estate closing. So this is a great closing and it's a great deal, and I wanted to just go through that deal really quickly, but also kind of explain how, this is a great deal that we made, and there's actually probably a lot of these deals out there. This is not one of those like once in a lifetime deals, but it's also one of those types of deals that can make people wealthy. And so I wanted to kind of explain it a little bit, explain how I got it, what I did, and then I'm actually gonna we just filmed the full closing. So you might want to just watch the intro. I thought the closing was interesting. Not everybody has done like an investment closing like this, so hey, that's what it is. So first of all, the deal was this deal is 416 Woodland. Okay, it's in Elyria, and I purchased this house. We purchased actually off of a sign. So I bought the house right next door, and we put We Buy Houses sign to our toll-free. We kind of have a marketing company for buying houses. So it's 866sell911.com LLC. And so we have signs out there, and we put that sign out, and literally someone who called for a house right next door that we own, they're like, yeah, we'd like to sell the house. So we went ahead, we purchased it, and I actually gave the full asking price. It was fair for us, and that's one of the first things I wanted to point out. This deal is a BRRRR, buy right, renovate or rehab right, rent right, refinance right. Okay, so pretty common if you've been in Bigger Pockets or other real estate investment groups. I think it became, I don't know who came up with it first, whether that was a Bigger Pockets things or not, but the idea is that, to be honest, everybody wants to get a discounted house, but what is that really, right? Your average, if you just want to go get a beautiful house, it's always pretty much, except under very special circumstances, that's always going to sell probably at full retail price. And there's obviously transaction engineers, people that specialize in kind of other ways of buying that allow them to perhaps pay full asking price, but get terms that make it a really good deal on beautiful houses. But in general, as an investor, if you're buying a house, you don't see beautiful houses that sell at discounts ever. It's the ones that need work. And you know what? There's actually a lot of houses out there that need work, that are potential opportunities to make a good deal out of. So this one we paid full asking price. It was $48,000, and we put about $40,000 into it. Now that's a rather large renovation. There's a lot of stuff. We did everything from paint, all new flooring, all new fixtures. We even put a new bedroom in the base, a second bedroom in the base, a third bedroom in the basement, and a full bath in the basement, and finished the basement. And so it was a very significant renovation. A lot of people aren't willing to do that, but that renovation is the secret sauce, right? So it's hard to buy right sometimes, okay? Because usually those special deals go to the insiders. But using the BRRRR strategy, people even who aren't insiders can get involved in the market. Okay, so we did this for ourselves, but that's something that, and oftentimes people who don't live in the area, they struggle to get involved because it can be hard to manage a renovation, and that's the part that's hard. Finding the deal and buying right is it's not necessarily easy, but it's not the hard part, right? The real hard part is kind of getting the renovation done. And so we actually are offering a service. If you go to propertyinvestmentsoh.com, if you want to look at that, it's kind of on a slow release basis. So we can't do a large number of huge renovations yet, but we're working on really increasing the team to be able to do that, so that it allows people to get into the BRRRR area. A lot of people say they do that, but to be honest, it is hard to find, even people that say they will help you do a BRRRR. It's hard to find people that are actually going to do that and then not suck all the profit out through the renovation. So at the end of the day, the whole point, obviously, the BRRRR is that you can pull all of your money back and have equity. And so yes, you could flip that, right? And if you flip it, you make 20, 30%. And you pay taxes, and you pay sales costs, and you don't have a business asset. So you'll see the payment on this in the closing. We're looking at through the paperwork. There's actually a $500 spread between that house and the mortgage after all this, and that's at rates that just increased very significantly. I don't know how much more they're going to go out when people see this video, but even with that, I mean, I could have had significantly higher rate and still had a decent cash flow. And so like I said, it was kind of a run-done deal, but we made it with the renovation, and it appraised for $135,000. So we had a little over 90 in it, and we got all of our money back plus some, and that might not be usual, but I would say part of what we saw was, we're not just fixing this up, we're transforming it. So like there was a vision, number one, and the fact that you had an extra bedroom and bathroom. We actually put an egress window in there, right? So that you could legally call it that and it would appraise as such. So those types of things, they're not easy. You can find a lot of people that'll go paint a house, but adding that to it adds some time. It's definitely a lot more management, requires a lot more decisions of people with eyes on the ground to make it happen. And so doing that type of thing and kind of understanding how to do it is a little harder. And we are willing to help people do that to make it. That's part of what made it such a good deal, right? But it was a deal based on people's eyes to see it, not necessarily a deal that was impossible to get or make. So anyways, I wanted to explain that. We made that deal. I just closed, or we just got the approval to close. And so if you come on in, we're going to walk into the title agency in a minute, and you'll get to see us close. And you'll see the final step. So the final step is refi right. And so we actually have a lender that we use, and there's other lenders like this. There's a lot of new they're called fintech companies. It used to be like if you're getting single family houses, you're capped at 10. But this company will give equity-based loans. I mean, you have to have a credit score, but they're typically low doc at a very decent interest rate and basically unlimited of them. And so it's one of those things where as many of these you can get, as long as you can get them done, you can really build a lot of wealth because you can continue to roll your money. You put your money in, you pull all of it back out, you have a certain amount of equity, and suddenly you go from having flipped a house for whatever, making your $20,000 or $30,000, and then most of it going to taxes and sales costs and other costs, to suddenly you keep that equity for yourself. You get appreciation over many years, which is a hedge against inflation, which is great for the time this video is being shot. And then you have this mortgage that pays down, and before you know it, your return is 5 to 10 times what you would have otherwise made effectively over a longer period of time while working less. Like this property is going to be managed by the management company. And so it's not any more work. In fact, it's arguably easier than trying to sell the house if it's managed, right? So anyways, I thought I'd talk about that, and let's go and watch the closing if you're so inclined. For those who've seen a closing or been there, nothing new, but you might learn something, and we'll see you on the other side.